My name is Judy Hirigoyen, and I'm 46 years old. I have two grown sons. Danny's 26 and Monty's 23. I'm interested in so many things, like cultural activities like music and theater, art, and especially cooking. When I travel, I like to experience as many of those things as possible. In my opinion, travel is the best education that's available to us.
Our name's on here. Selected by Chef Gerald Irigoyen. I'll be doggone.
Jamaica, which is one of the largest Caribbean islands, has many aspects that are of particular interest to me. It's not hard to find Jamaica on the map. You just look in the Caribbean and it's about 95 miles south of Cuba. I had planned to meet my guide in Kingston, and we would then drive to various points on the island from there.
Hi, are you Wallace?
Yes, I'm Wallace.
I'm Judy. It's nice to meet you.
I'm your guy.
I know. I'm looking forward to this.
I had read that Kingston is the heartbeat of Jamaica. It has definitely got a big city energy to it. I asked Wallace to take me where I would see the most color. He took me to the downtown market area, and it was colorful. We got to see the what they call here higglers, which are the street vendors there who are selling home-brewed beverages. Like I actually had a beet and carrot juice beverage that a guy makes at his house. I had some curried goat from a vendor that was there, which was interesting. There were some great characters at the market, but I'd never met anyone as lively and spontaneous as the higgler selling jewelry. He started by explaining patois, which is the Jamaican dialect.
How does that look? Buy me this, and buy me this, and buy me this.
We speak English and we have our dialect, right?
Yes. It's hard for me to understand.
No, it is to get along. Like, yeah man, hey man,
Yeah,
hold
man.
tight,
Yeah.
come here,
Yeah.
and what have you. No problem. Bob Marley, don't worry about a thing. Don't worry. Gonna be alright. Wake up in the morning and the rising sun.
This certainly wasn't the kind of experience I'd ever have in a shop back home. But everyone got into the spirit, and it was a bit of fun that I'll never forget. From Kingston, as you face away from the bay, you can see the Blue Mountains. So we headed out because I wanted to see a coffee plantation. So this is the plantation.
Yes, this is a plantation.
We're up there. What's the elevation here?
Over 3,000 feet.
I can hardly even see around me for all the mist.
Right. So
I feel like we're up in the clouds.
Right.
I can't wait to try my first cup
Right.
of Blue Mountain coffee.
So this
Hi.
is Upton.
Elton? Hi, I'm Judy. Nice to meet you.
Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay. Thank you. Thanks for having us here.
Michael.
Hi, Michael. I'm Judy.
Nice meeting you now.
It's nice to meet you and to see a real coffee plantation. So this is where it happens.
Yeah.
So we're following you?
Yeah, okay.
All right. Thank you.
We go this way, yeah.
You lead the way. I expected to see some very slick coffee operation, but I was so wrong.
Our plantation here, it's done coffee process ancient way, like no machinery.
So there's no machinery involved, so there's no mechanical harvesting. You pick every bean by hand.
Yeah, I can give you a tray with the different stages of the beans and berries that we go through.
All right, what do we have here?
These are the different stages we have to go through here. These are coffee berries.
This is as they come off the bush.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they are green like this, they're not ready to harvest.
Oh, so you leave them on the bush until they are red like this?
Yeah, known as cherry ripe. You can taste it as well.
Oh,
If you notice the beans, they're very slippery.
Yes, it's slimy.
Yeah, so but they taste sweet, so you can
Okay.
try it.
It's very slippery.
Yeah, it got a sugar coating in it.
Oh, it tastes good. Doesn't
Yeah.
taste like coffee though.
No. So to get those slime off, we have to ferment in water. Yeah, as soon as we ferment in water for 24 hours, we got to wash them
Okay.
and place them in the sun to be dried. If you notice now, you got a shell on it.
At that point, they take the beans and put them in a large mortar. And they have a very heavy pestle that they pulverize the beans with. The husk that's on the bean gets cracked open. Stand there and pound and pound and pound. It's back-breaking work, isn't it? I can see that. But these guys must have really strong arms. When they finish that, it goes to the roasting process. They had a little lean-to shack and an open campfire with cast iron Dutch ovens. How do you keep from crying? The smoke is killing me.
You stay behind the smoke.
You have to keep stirring it constantly. Or they'll burn, huh?
It's a good climate for coffee, you know? Yeah.
So you just keep turning. So you have to be a patient man. And you go home with smoke in your hair.
Oh, sure, in the eyes, you know. Your eyes have to be strong for the smoke, you know.
Well, I will always think about you guys when I drink coffee from now on.
Yeah.
I'll appreciate it more.
We're gonna go inside and let you guys sample coffee, okay?
Great, I'd love to taste some coffee.
Yeah.
So this is 8 ounces?
No.
No, about a pound.
1 pound.
1 pound. So we're looking at about $40 US dollars to buy this in Jamaica.
The price always on top of the rest of coffee.
It's always one of the highest priced coffees.
Yeah.
I can see why after seeing how much work goes into it. So cheers to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for making this coffee for me. Well, that was a real eye-opener. A lot of effort goes into the coffee you drink every morning. Back in Kingston, while walking through the city, I noticed a lot of street musicians and music playing. I started to realize how important music is in Jamaica. Of course, there was the inspiration of the great Bob Marley. But to learn more, I drove to see Tony, who knew about Jamaica and its music. Tony, I know you're a musician, and in the United States, when we think of Jamaica, we think of reggae music. And it's a very popular music form. In fact, I have several albums of Bob Marley's, and I'm on it by Peter Tosh. But to us, it's primarily entertainment, and I get the sense from you that it's much more than entertainment. Am I guessing that right?
Music to Jamaicans is not like the average society where music is just a vehicle for every message. Music comes out of the earth in Jamaica.
What do you mean?
We live the rhythm. Well, anywhere you go, there's a rhythm. There's a rhythm pattern. There's a sound. There's the pulsating. We tend to relate to reggae as our heartbeat. It is similar to or connected to our heartbeat.
So you feel it coming from the earth up through your body, literally? Is that what you're saying?
And this is why we are so much into roots, because once our feet are planted in anything Jamaican, the rhythm reacts. We are an integrated song and dance people, you know. So there is movements and there is gesticulation along with the rhythm. Once we are speaking, just make believe that the body is a musical instrument, and whatever outpours from us is musical. Please, it might not be correct in terms of conservatory music fashion, but within a cultural context, once you are dead on the rhythm, that's really where it comes in. That's Jamaica.
I've noticed that you don't ever see a Jamaican standing there just singing or just playing. When they're singing, they're dancing, and when they're playing, they're dancing. They always seem to go together.
Back to integrated song and dance, there must be movement. If you are a Jamaican, any sort of movement must be accompanied by music, even if you are dealing with it mentally, because as I said, we utilize the body as an instrument. So we do emphasize and accent our basic rhythmic patterns, and of course it depends on which part of the country you come from, because we are surrounded by pockets of African retention with different accents. So it's a matter of where you come from, where you are, and what you're into. But music is us. Whether there was a recording business or not, we would still be into music as heavy as we are now.
I believe it. Understanding Jamaica meant understanding its relationship to music. I wanted to learn more about the people and the culture by traveling further into the country. On the second day of my trip to Jamaica, I decided to visit the Runaway Caves. They're called Runaway Caves because plantation owners used to possess slaves. The slaves would run away to the caves. In addition, pirates would hide out there.
And there's holes down there, so if you don't know the caves around here,
Oh, you could
you
fall
could
through to
fall
the water
all the way down
and
to
die.
the water and die.
Ooh,
And head now.
okay. I'm sticking with you.
Oh yes.
Oh, I can't even see the bottom.
Wow, it's deep. You could just imagine in those days,
Yeah.
when it was just running, maybe he doesn't even know where it's going, but he said, okay.
And this
I'm
is where
escaping.
Captain Morgan
Captain Morgan, yeah.
hid
it was
his ammunition and
ammunition,
rum.
yes. And there were women pirates here too.
Did you say they're women pirates?
Women pirates.
Were they actually pirates themselves, robbing people?
Yeah, they're Morgan's
Wow.
crew.
They were part of his crew.
His crew, right.
Oh, they're very liberated.
Ah, yes.
Good for them. Did they ever get caught?
Yes, they got caught.
Really?
But you know what happened?
No.
They found out that they were pregnant.
When they got caught, they were pregnant.
So they couldn't bother to execute them.
Oh, well, that was
But I believe that was the trick, to save them from not being executed.
okay.
That's the kind of woman I believe they were. They were rough girls.
Yeah, well, you
Rough
know,
girls.
you do funny things when they're getting ready to
Oh, yes.
execute you.
Okay, so this is one of the holes that we have back here. And they call these a sinkhole.
Okay.
So I'm gonna drop this little stone down in there.
Long way.
A long way down. I believe a lot of people lost their lives in these caves back then because there were no fence, no rails around it. They
Sure.
could just imagine they would just slide off in there or walk off in there.
They would think there was going to be a floor, and they
Right,
go
all the way
down
down
into
water,
water.
or maybe rock before water. So maybe you have a lot of skeletons down there too.
Did I just see a bat? Jeez, oh God!
Okay, you don't have to worry about those bats. They're fruit bats. Those bats just feed on fruits. They go out at nighttime and come back in the morning.
I have never seen bats like that before. How do they know it isn't morning?
Where they see the sunlight out there, they can't take the light of the sun.
Okay.
So they know
Is
it's
that why
day.
they're kind of rubbing their
That's
eyes
why they
because
rub
you
their
have the
eyes,
flashlight
right?
on him?
Oh, yes.
See him smacking his lips?
Oh, yes.
He's kind of sharpening his pointy little teeth and looking
Wow.
at us. Okay, let's go. Okay, if one comes down here, you're going down with me, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Well, the bats have to get me first.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Okay. Keep that light on.
Yeah, so this is a piece of musical rock we have here.
Musical rock.
Oh, yes. This rock is not really actually hollow, but it vibrates. And that's how we get the sound. But it's like porous. It melts all the way from up there.
Oh, I see. Uh-huh.
All right, so I'm going to play a little music here for you.
Oh, great.
So maybe in those days they used these to send messages, right? Maybe you want to have a play too.
Okay. Well, I have no rhythm.
Okay, just
What?
do it. Just do this. Right. Right.
They took the tambourine away from me in church.
See another bat, right? Another bat.
Big one. That's a
You see?
big bat. That's
That-
an eagle. Right,
I
right.
was coming for you.
Okay, let's get out of this cave now.
Okay.
When we finally got out of the caves, he still had a few tricks to show me. That's no.
Okay, so I'm gonna teach you how to limbo.
Limbo?
Right.
Do the limbo
now.
dance?
You don't go like this.
Right.
Right, you go like this.
Right.
All right, so I'm gonna go on the tree and then you limbo, all right?
All right.
Okay. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
You ready? Okay. Limbo.
Okay.
That was good.
You crack yourself out.
That was good.
Sorry,
That's a
man.
good limbo, you know? All right. So we know how to do limbo, right? But we do it a different way.
Oh, brother. How low can you go?
After my adventure in the caves, I wanted an experience that was outside and a bit more serene. So I decided to take a trip on the Rio Grande River.
I had heard that the Rio Grande River and the valley that it flows through is spectacularly scenic. That they take river rafting trips through there on bamboo rafts.
Seems to me we could have just about walked across. Donnie's looking at me like, fool.
With my guide Wilma, I was on the first leg of my journey to Mackenzie Falls. On the other side, Wilma and I were met by Sean, our other guide, who then took us the rest of the way through the jungle.
Oh, cocoa, that's where we get chocolate?
Yes, yes. It is processed. When it is processed, you get chocolate from it. But there's some green one, and that is a ripe one.
Break it like this.
And you can taste it.
Really sweet.
Then this the process. Just taste it. It's sweet.
Very nice.
Yeah.
As you can see inside of it,
That's inside.
this thing in here, we use it to make the cocoa.
How does it turn brown?
You have to process it. They have to burn it and then process it.
I see.
We hiked for quite a while, and finally, alongside the river, I could hear the falls up ahead, and it sounded like thunder.
It looked spectacular, so we decided to go in.
Being in a waterfall is such a cool experience. The pounding water on you, it didn't hurt, but it was really hard. It felt like I was getting a massage on my shoulders. And you just feel so clean and so part of nature. It's the closest to nature I think I've ever felt. It was a wonderful experience. I'll never forget that. Being in Mackenzie Falls with no one around but Vilma, Sean, and me.
I was nearing the end of my trip to Jamaica, but I didn't want to leave without visiting Moortown. The people who live there are called Maroons. They're the descendants of slaves who revolted against the Spanish and British plantation owners.
In each of the Maroon villages, they have a head of that particular village, and he's called a colonel. So we looked up the colonel, and he's actually a very young man.
I understand that the Maroons, your people, have got a significantly different history than the rest of Jamaica.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that. Where does that come from?
First of all, that our foreparents had gotten their freedom before most of the other slaves that were on the plantations in Jamaica, in that they had taken it upon themselves to liberate themselves from the plantation. And they live in the mountains, and they fought against the British. Well, they fought against the Spaniards, but most of the fighting was against the British. Since there wasn't any gold around, any precious mineral, then their next best bet was agriculture, and sugarcane would have flourished. So because of that, they began to import more slaves. And importing more slaves to come and work on the plantation, where they knew for sure that outside there were people running around free, of African descent.
Yes.
And they were constantly invading these plantations. They would go there to make off with other slaves that they want to join up with them and fight in the mountains against the British. And they will go there and take off, with the women that they want to come and live with them as well. So, and they also set up like a network of spies on the plantation, people slaves that would feed them with information. Whenever they were under, imminent attack and things like that, they will get that information first. And also, there were plantations that were close enough to the mountains where our ancestors would have been fighting. And these plantation owners were more or less siding with the Maroons. Not to say that they would does that openly or go out to fight with them. But they would not assist the soldiers, the British soldiers, in a manner that the soldiers thought was befitting to them, because being so close to the Maroons, their plantation could be overrun at any time.
So how do the Maroons relate to the rest of Jamaica today? If I were a Maroon woman, would I be focused on marrying a Maroon man so that I would have Maroon children and continue the line, or?
I don't think that is necessarily so at this point in time. What happened is that many years ago, it was customary for a Maroon woman to marry a Maroon man. It was not, the communities were that close, meaning to say you don't marry outside of the community so easily, because marriage were basically pre-arranged.
I see.
Meaning to say a man would not go out and ask for a woman. It was the parent of that man that would have gone out and say, well, you know,
you'll marry her.
Right.
Yes.
So that's how it was. But today it is a whole different situation. People marry to whoever they feel like marrying. But then at the back of everybody's mind, I want to marry somebody that I know something about. How do you go about that? You generally end up marrying the persons who live closer to you, or the people who you know.
Yes, you
Because
grew up with them.
You grow up with them and you understand them. You know the ways about them. People are free to marry where you want to marry, but you know.
It just happens that they're who you spend time with, and so
Right.
that's who you fall in love with and marry,
That's
and
it.
have children with them.
That's how it goes.
One of the big improvements that they've made in Moortown recently is a new school. The Colonel showed me the classroom with the children, and they were very obedient to the Colonel and what he had to say.
Mine, you know, I think it's your rest time now, you know. It's 1 o'clock, right? So it's your rest from 12 to 1.
Please stand. Okay. We're going to sing a song. I'm so glad, I feel so fine. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is out. Every little cell in my body is well.
The respect the children showed the Colonel made me realize the Maroons have a life that respects traditional ways. Because the Maroons had not accepted slavery the way others had, their culture still flourished to the benefit of all Jamaicans. My time in Jamaica ended at Montego Bay, and when I was there, I was really glad that I had seen a part of Jamaica that a lot of people would never venture out to see. The thing that makes Jamaica unique is its people. Everywhere I went, the people were so open and kind and generous, and they genuinely wanted me to know how they live and about their country. Some places on the island say, out of many, one heart. And that one heart, the one personality of Jamaica is what I saw. The heart that says, here's how I live, welcome to this place, and I hope that you'll enjoy it.